It's time for Fits and Starts.
See, this is bullshit now, Julian. I have you on tape saying you're all about making dolls of yourself. And now you're just like, I don't want to make a doll of myself. Ridiculous.
I don't. Okay.
See,
I think you've always been excited about this more than.
Yeah, I have. But I have you. See, this is the great thing about being on podcast too. I have you recorded. I have recording of you saying, "I love everything about this idea." Then I cut all the rest out.
I think that might. I think that might have been because I loved the idea. The idea.
See, this is what you got to do. The idea, Alan. The idea. Keep it as an idea. That's it. You see, can you imagine, Gillian, how funny it's going to be when we have an actual doll of you? So you got to think about the comedy value. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it comes to life in night time and kills me. Don't worry about that part. We'll keep it in like a box. We'll put holy water on it. Whatever needs to happen, it's fine. But it's going to be. Think about how funny it's going to be when you're like, I have promotional models of myself, because nobody else will have that.
How obnoxious do you have to be like, thanks so much for coming to my gig. You can buy a fucking doll of me at the door.
See,
most people sell t-shirts. I have a doll.
Listen, but the whole point is the doll is no more obnoxious than the t-shirt. That's the point. You're lampooning the concept of merchandise.
Yeah, fair.
See, it's all about how you deliver it. Anyway, Gillian, nobody thinks you're an asshole for some reason, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So no one's going to think you're going to do it. You're doing it seriously. They'll just be like, "How whimsical!" See, everyone loves you. Who wouldn't want a tiny miniature version of you? Well, even more miniature, tiny version of you.
I was just about to say.
Right? I'd be like, Andy, do you want one? You're like, no, man, I got one, man. Thanks.
I got one, yeah. Why would I pay to get another one?
Yeah, that's it. Fucking my one's way cheaper than this. Yeah. No, it's going to be great, Jill. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to love you. Yeah, everyone's going to love it. And you're going to love it too. You're going to love it. So just need to send me pictures of you smiling or frowning if you want. But I feel like you're leaning into the evil doll angle if you send me a picture of you being like...
Yeah, I think maybe smiling would be better.
It's okay, because if you don't send me the pictures, I'm going to have to just send them pictures that I have of you already, and then they'll be cobbling it together, and then it's going to look haunted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it'll be like the picture from you from 4 years ago with one haircut, and then this part will be like another bit from more recently with your hair in a bun, and then like, you're going to look like, what's that guy with the two faces? Oh yeah, Two-Face, that's it. Don't worry, Gillian, you look so skeptical. Why are you so skeptical, Gillian? Why don't you just accept the love? Accept the love of the people. Give the people what they want. More Gillian.
More Gillian.
They're starting to do some live gigs again here now. There's a new gig here in town that happens under a tree. It's just a tree besides a bin. Yeah, what's this guy? Louis Schaefer. He's hilarious. I love him, man. He's an American comedian here, and his new gig is just outside by a tree next to some bins. I
love it.
So good. It's so good. So
I know a comedian up north just did a gig in his backyard.
Very nice. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it.
It's so funny.
It's brilliant.
So funny. But yeah, I saw they announced today. Danny O'Brien and Damo Clark announced that they're opening a new comedy club in Dublin. Opening in September. And they just kind of they basically just announced it today and then said who the first headliner was going to be. Cool. So they Deirdre O'Kane as their first headliner. Some pub, I think, in Dublin. Which is kind of cool to be like, oh, there's a new club opening. That's promising.
Yeah.
Seeing as all the rest of them are, just dying.
Yeah, it depends. It does seem like people are going to have to... I think people who are already set up with what they have might have a harder time than actually opening new stuff. Because like when you're opening a new thing, you can have all these regulations or whatever in mind. So you might not have to keep it that way forever, but at least you can start it out
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one club here in Dublin where they were trying to open on the 20th because the pubs were meant to come back on the 20th. And he was like selling tickets and he had like the lineup announced and everyone was like, oh, amazing, comedy's coming back. But the new government have said that they're going to push out phase. Or what phase are we on now? 5, 4,
4, 5, whatever you're on.
Yeah, they're going to push it out, so the pubs aren't going to open on the 20th anymore. Yeah. So the gig has been cancelled.
Yeah. I reckon. I mean, like, I think in a way you have to kind of if you're going to be building your plans around like, oh, they said this thing's going to happen at this time, you're probably onto a loser, like, because that stuff can all change. Like if there's a fucking spike in rates and everyone did whatever the R thingy jumps to the roof, like they'll close everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like, and people are like, well, the government said one thing or another, but like they also don't have full control over what's going to happen. Yeah. So you're kind of snookered if you do. Whereas if your gig's under a tree next to a bin, you know what I mean? Fucking. I think it's Schaefer. I keep calling him Schaefer. Is it Schaefer? He's very, very funny. He's a very controversial comedian. He tends to get people to walk out of his gigs, and then after he does, hilariously berate them as soon as they're gone. It's great. It's so funny.
They're the comedians that we need in the world right now.
Yes, we do.
To tell all the fucking police, like fucking what are they called them now? Control police or it's got like cancel
the cancel police. Do you mean the PC police?
It used to be. It's definitely like evolved from that now because it was the PC police, but it's changed to something else like the cancel police or something.
Well, it's cancel culture. So are you saying this cancel police now? I suppose if you're going to have a culture, you might need to have a police to police your culture. Cancel police?
So they're saying that they're having all these people who are like giving out to comedians and that they're trying to get them all cancelled if they say something. Right. And I just think that we need those controversial comedians to just be like, how about you shut the fuck up?
Sure. I thought you said, and I just think we need those cunts because your signal broke up for a second, which also would have been a great description. Yeah, I think I agree. You have to have, I think, one of the functions of comedians, besides just telling jokes, is to also exercise or use free speech and push boundaries and stuff. It's I think that's a valuable use for them. So I think you don't have to agree with them. But you can, and I think you can walk out. Some people are like, that's so rude. I'm like, well, it's a free country, you're allowed to do what you want to do. But I think there's a difference between doing that and actively trying to stop people saying what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? So because it's you gotta exercise the free speech. Man, it cracks me up though. It depends. Like, I suppose I don't know. Have you ever been in a gig where like something goes wrong? And not with your own stuff. Luckily for me, no, I've just been crap as opposed to being controversial, which is fine. That's not. Where you say so like everything gets all tense and weird, and then it's just, I love it, man.
I love it as well. I'm like, yes, keep saying all of this shit, and people are like afraid to laugh at it now as well, and you're just like, you're in a fucking comedy club. If you're going to get offended, leave. Don't come here.
Yeah, man. It's
not the place for you.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, yeah, because you do get people who are just like, oh, am I allowed to laugh? I don't think I'm allowed to laugh. I thought I was, but I'm not. Nah. Yeah. And it's funny though as well. But I suppose the only thing is like it is complicated to gauge as well, because like you have some comedians who are like, I'm just too real. That's why people aren't laughing, and I'm like, I think you might just be too shy. You know what I mean? Like so like there is that thing as well about like you actually have to be funny as well. You can't just be. Yeah,
you can't just be like a woman. You have to tell a joke as well.
Jillian, throwing herself under all the buses. It's great. It's great. Cancelled. The cancelled PC. The PC cancelling police.
You can't walk into like a hospital and be like, "Oh, I'm a woman, therefore let me do the operation. I'm a woman." Why should I let you be on my stage if you're not funny? I don't give a fuck if you're a woman.
Gillian, I feel like there's a lot of rage built up behind that, because that came out of left of field. I wasn't specifically talking about women. Apparently, you were though.
I was just using them as an example because. Am I allowed to because I am a woman? Maybe not. I don't know.
You are allowed to talk shit about short, white Irish women. So as long as you keep,
exactly what
because
I did
you're
there.
one of your, yeah. So listen, you can't just go on stage because you're a short, white Irish woman. Anyone else? You've got nothing to say. You have no other comments on anyone else. Just on
yeah.
Just on my group.
That's all I have to say.
That's all I had to say. And everything else is off the card. Yeah, but it's true. I mean, so that is true. Some people do that. But what I was saying more was, or in terms of they lean on they think their identity is sufficient enough to do the job being funny. Or sometimes they think they're sort of, their politics, not necessarily their identity, is enough to be funny. Like people are like, yeah, here's a joke about the war in Iraq. And you're like, it's not funny though. So that's... So am I too real for you? And you're like, no.
No.
Well, I mean, you are too real for us in the sense that the real you is boring.
Yeah, if you could just tell that story, just make it funny.
And if it's about the thing you care about and it is funny, then people who have a sense of humor will laugh, and then you're on to a winner. Now everyone's like, yeah, the war in Iraq was a problem, or yeah, feminism is a thing. But it has to be both. The minimum is funny. That's not like an additional optional extra you can just like put on if you want. But the same is true of what I was saying. Is the same is true of controversy. Like you can have like out there baby raping jokes, but like they gotta be funny. Like they can't. You can't just be like, yeah, rape. Like if you got, it's like, and the more controversial the shit is, the funnier it has to be to like.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, though. I don't know why that is. Like, surely a knock-knock joke should be, the level of funniness should be sufficient, whether it's a rape joke or not. Like, if it's a rape joke, it's got to be crazy funny. Whereas, like, knock-knock doesn't have to be that funny. I don't know why that is. I suppose you can combine both of them. Knock-knock, who's there? A rapist. Didn't have a punchline for that. I was hoping you were going to jump in.
Oh.
Sorry. A rapist who's trying to rape a short, white Irish girl. Now you can jump in.
Sorry. Thank you. Fuck's sake.
Straight to cancel town.
They put us all into our teeny tiny little boxes, and they're like, these four corners in this tiny box are all you can joke about ever.
That's all you.
Because I've decided that you can't joke about other things. Fucking wank.
Yeah, I know, Gillian. Poor Gillian's in you're in free speech jail now, Gillian, in every sense. Yeah. Literally, there's no gigs happening, so you're in the jail of your little house, but also you're in the jail. The PC, what do they call it? The cancel police.
The cancel police. It's something like that.
Something like that. The cancel brigade. I feel like the cancel brigade, I think I'd be more on board with cancelling people if it was a brigade. Because brigade is kind of jollier sounding, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Like police is very, uniformy and formal and a bit sort of has a fascist vibe to it. Whereas cancel brigade, you kind of think like fire brigade. And I don't know about you, but when I think about emergency services, right? The funnest one is definitely the fire brigade, isn't it? They are.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
Because obviously... Sorry, please.
I was just gonna say, is that because of all like, in your childhood you have like Fireman Sam and stuff. You don't really have the ambulances that are flying around the place, fucking giving people CPR left, right, and center.
That's
you just
true.
have like that. I'm just here in my little fire truck, living my best life.
Yeah, I mean? That's true. Yeah, there's more.
And you're allowed to. We went on like a little trip to a fire station when we were in school.
Right.
And we were allowed to like go into the truck, and we were allowed to do the hose and all. Whereas they don't bring you into fucking operating theaters being like, we lost one earlier.
This is where people overdosing on heroin get brought in, and we have to. This is where we restart their hearts with an injection if we get there in time. But sometimes you're on your coffee break, and you deserve time off too, right? So it's an indicator. Or the same, like with the police station, trip to the police station. Yeah, this is where all the domestic abuse cases are handled.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
where we
just-
stamp your passport.
this is, yeah, right? You know, it's not, whereas fire, it's funny because like fire is terrifying. It's horrifying. It murders people. It's one of the worst ways to die. And yet, it's because this sort of, it's so abstract. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no chance. You see, you know what? It's very funny. It's like, is that literally the only reason, I wonder? Like, nobody brings fire to a fire station. There's never, that would be ironic though. Like, if you go to the police station, you're going to come into contact with the people the police come into contact with in terms of criminals or victims or whatever. Same with the hospital, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to the fucking firehouse, the chances of a fire breaking out, you would hope, very low.
You would hope.
Just the
the
lads are all smoking next to like fucking dry hay. All the batteries have been pulled out the smoke alarms. They're like, yeah, man, we're firemen, but we have days off as well. You know, like you think that wouldn't, yeah. Fireman Sam. Fireman Sam. I'm trying to remember the theme tune now.
I don't remember.
Fireman Sam. Fireman Sam. You cannot ignore the hero who lives next door. Ooh, Welsh. Or whatever he says. Welsh.
Did
right?
you say I'm Welsh?
Yeah, it's Fireman Sam's Welsh.
Is he Welsh?
Yeah, man. And clay animated. You're like, I'm rocking your world here. Did you think he was a real American?
I don't want to talk about it. No.
I thought he was a doctor.
I just never watched. Well, maybe I just didn't watch it enough. I don't know the theme tune to Fireman Sam at all.
I mean,
but
I remember
know
every theme tune I've ever heard and nothing else. So that also is maybe why. My brain is just full of theme tunes from the late 80s and early 90s, and none of the Leaving Cert exam questions. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's only room for theme tune.
Theme tunes only, please.
Not today. Sorry, was that a useful piece of... No, sorry, that's not true. Theme tunes and pieces of trivia that take hours to get to the bottom of, like miniature golf versus crazy golf versus pitch.
You'll know that. We'll know that forever now.
That's
what
it.
Were the
answers? Pitch and putt Welsh and crazy golf was invented by a fireman.
Made of clay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. The fireman is fun, man. And also, I think the fireman get up is the funnest get up, right? They've got the mad cool helmets.
And don't they come down those poles?
They come down poles, like. That's so fun.
What other job is just like, no, I do not have time for the stairs.
Are you out of your mind? There's a fire happening somewhere. And then they go to, you know, it's great.
Yeah, don't have time to run down the stairs.
I think.
Even though, what's ironic about that is if you're in the fire that they're going to, you're told to not use the stairs. Or you're told to only use the stairs. Don't use the lift.
As opposed to the elevators. Yeah, yeah. So, but I wonder, see, once again, we've come back to the, if there was a fire in a fire station scenario, would they tell you to use the poles instead of the stairs? And by poles, I mean Poles, not Polish people.
Don't
Polish
use
people
to
are
quench
not
a fire.
the preferred method of escape. Yeah. Jumping on Pavel and be like, get me out of here, Pavel.
Yeah.
Don't think that's what they meant. Yeah, man, the Poles. Who? That's okay. That's one that I'm not gonna make you suffer through me Googling.
But what if you have like a load of like the firemen and a fire does break out in the firehouse, in the fire station even?
Who do they call? Ghostbusters?
First of all, who do they call? So, I guess they just, who do they call?
I love that, man. I love when you have a moment of panicked realization.
Who do they call?
Oh, joking aside.
They just call each other, like. There's a fire. I know.
Bill, get over here.
But if they're all going down the pole, will the first person down just get squashed by the second person?
I think the idea is you move away from the pole once you've gone down it.
Yeah, but if there's a fire, I'd imagine that they're going down it a lot quicker than they would be if they were running to a fire.
What floor is the fire on?
They don't care about the fire that they're running to. It's just that they have a sense of more urgency about them if the fire is in the building that they are in.
So let me just set the scene here in my head. So you're saying we got 2 stories at least. Not saying you can't pole down multiple stories. I don't want to disparage firefighters, clay animated or otherwise. So you're saying the fire is on the top floor and they're poling down away from the fire? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so you're saying because of the added element of fire-based panic that the first one down might not have time to get away before the second one comes glomping down on top of them. So you're imagining a sort of pile of firemen at the bottom of a fireman's pole whilst the fire rages overhead like some kind of Banksy statement about society or something.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I would say that if there was a fire in the fire station, that they should use the stairs.
So and then you'd be there at the bottom being like, this fucking the irony, huh? The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. You'd be there writing a little article for the Times.
Yeah,
the hypocrisy of the fire service. I know what you're saying. I have a feeling like if anyone can keep their heads and stay calm in the middle of a fire-related crisis, it probably would be firemen. But
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But, they're used to not. That's like saying, can I like? Do you know what I mean? Can a mechanic fix his own car? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You stand there and look sassy.
Yeah, just mic drop. That's all I'm saying.
This, I think, right, Gillian, you should have a secondary comedy persona. People do persona comedy, where you're like the female comedians who you hate, and you just try and be that person as much as possible. And, can a mechanic fix their own car? Yeah. You just stand there waiting for people to get up and clap you for your bravery.
Her fucking show was a movement, can I just say?
Movement, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got Gillian Fitzgerald's new, deep, hilarious, and yet deep cutting criticism of sexism and hypocrisy in the modern fire service, which some bigoted commentators have called not that funny. Typical racists.
Typical.
That's great, man. You'd be really good. No, you wouldn't though. You wouldn't be good at that character because every time you said something, it had hurt you too much. It hurt you inside. You'd go, like someone had stabbed you in the guts. That's it. The firemen. Do you know what it is as well? I suppose I think the firemen is being like gay as well. Some gayer than not gay, but I suppose gay in a homosexual sense. But they are more flammable and flamboyant as well. Because it's like big coats, neon colors, red hats or yellow hats. They're swinging hoses around. You know what I mean? Like people are like, the guards are sexy, but I mean, I think, well, I'm not saying people are saying that.
No, there's not that many calendars of guards being all hot and sexy. There's loads of firemen ones.
Right, exactly. Do you know what it is I think about firemen is because there's no complications with fire. You know what I mean? Like policing is a complicated issue. People have complicated relationship with the police. Nobody has a complicated issue with the fire department where people are like, they say they care about putting out fires, but actually they're secretly getting bribed by the fire. the fire corruption scandal, and they're allowing buildings to burn to claim insurance money that they then put back into buying more poles for the there's no complications with the fire service. They're just pure. They're the last heroes that people can just fucking, and they're the last heroes. They dress like heroes. They're also neon and bright, so you can find them easily for the ride. you know, 2 a.m. if you're stumbling around. And they got big hoses, like, you know, it's fucking win-win.
Win-win for everyone, you know.
Is your house on fire, or are you looking for a sexy gentleman, or ideally both? The fire department.
Give them a call.
Give them the
Who are you going to call?
Fire brigade department. Yeah, I think so. That's your fireman.
That's the dance.
This is sort of the vaguely enthusiastic dance. Apparently, I have to do it now. Yeah, that's funny. So, who do you think now, Gillian? Though, after disturbingly slow motion, out of all the uniformed peoples, right? That's really weird because with the ever so slight delay, you just look like it looks like a GIF. You look like a GIF. That's awful. It also looks like, I don't know, what would I have to type into Facebook Messenger to get that GIF or GIF to appear? Fire department. Yeah, exactly. That's what you get. People are like, this isn't. Do you know sometimes you type something in watermelon and like it's a picture of a guy going, ugh, and you're like, what? Yeah. How is this connected to that?
Like, how is this the first one?
Yeah, right. And then if you're a normal person, you go, oh well. And if you're me, you know, you go deep into finding out the web comic series from 2004 that featured the pervy character Watermelon that no one's ever heard of. Yeah. So out of the uniformed peoples, right? So let's say doctors. Who is the classically sexy uniformed people? Doctors, okay. Police, fire brigade, fired men and women, whatever. I was going to say Native American Indians, but that's just because I'm thinking of the YMCA. No offense, Indians, but you're not. I mean, you're not a member of the services. I'm sort of talking about uniformed. Oh, yeah. Army. That's a uniform. Milkman.
Postmen wear uniforms.
Oh yeah, okay. Postmen, yeah. So we got So the army, police, fire brigade, doctors, ambulance, whatever you say. Postmen. Is there any other uniformed people that could be like Navy, Army? We're saying the same.
Are nurses included in that?
Yeah, I say with the doctor one, we're including doctory nurses, but feel free to split. Oh, hang on, I better get
what?
It's my
the
bell.
The holy God is that?
Hello? Oh yeah, can you just leave it at the desk, mate? Cheers, man, thank you.
That's hilarious. Your accent turned completely English.
Oh yeah, man.
That is hilarious.
That's exactly what I do. I just switch.
You just leave it at the door, mate. Yeah.
I'll just leave it at the door. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thank you. And it'll change depending on who it is as well. Because if they talk to me in like a posh English voice, I'll do posh. I just do it by default.
So funny.
I'm trying to think which. Right. Actually, sometimes you're gonna do it like that. That's right. Just leave it at the door. Thank you. If I think it's like a. If I want to sound more menacing, if they sound more menacing, I'll be more menacing. Then, yeah, it's right. Can I leave it here? Yeah, just put it over there. Thank you. That's right, man. It's funny in my because my podcast with Chanel, my accent doesn't change as seriously as that because I just do that like without thinking. But it does change a bit on certain stuff that I say. I say, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because English people, that's just one word. Do you know that? That's only one word in the UK. You know what I mean? Not me, man.
Do you have like an English accent on your podcast with Chanel?
So that's what I'm saying. Not really, but definitely bits of it start going that way for sure. Yeah.
That is so funny.
It's not as Irish as it is on this. This is more Irish accent than it is on that. And then people are like, Alan, but what's your real accent?
Nobody knows.
It's just whoever I'm talking to, man. You fucking pull me up a fucking dinosaur, and all of a sudden, every second word is like, you know, it's just the way I roam. I used to sound very American, like, you know, because I used to hang out with Yanks. So when I was in Canada, I mean, I was hanging out with all the Canadians. Everything was, no offense, Canadians, sorry. But it's just because I'm such a sham and a fraud. Anyway, speaking of, well, not speak up, uniforms. So what do you think is the most attractive now?
Well, we also have, you forgot like nuns and priests. Do they
So
count?
fuck yes, nuns and priests. And let's put any religious connotation in there. So you want to get yourself like a mullah or an Eastern Orthodox guy. They've got pretty cool hats, ask me, but that's just me. Or Buddhist.
So what was the question?
Sash. I don't know. We're just talking about things we think are hot now. No, we're talking about, I want to know what, high heels? How do you feel about, uniforms that are attractive, because we started talking about firemans, and obviously uniform in the sense, fireman's is this. Oh, that's the other thing I started doing as well since I've been here. Using was instead of were. English people, some of them, I mean, I know there's quite a lot of them. Some of them use we was. They would say we was going as opposed to we were going. As slang. Yeah, we was in the place, blah 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 blah, and then they was going to do that, wasn't they? So I use was instead of were, and even if I'm not doing the accent now, I've started saying was instead of were sometimes. Fun times. Again, it's not everyone. It's just whoever I'm hanging out with, I suppose.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so this is a sidetrack. This is unimportant. What uniforms do you think are the most attractive, going from least? This is all crucial. People come to us looking for our
thousands of followers.
Thousands of followers come looking for our deep, hard-hitting takes on the hypocrisies of pole usage in the fire service. They're here to find out what uniforms we think are sexiest, and golf, miniature golf. I knew we'd done some other deep dive of massive consequence today.
Golfers wear uniforms, don't they? They have those golf and jumpers.
They do, but I think we're going to draw the line right there and say that that's not a uniform, because it has to be something that's, the same across, whereas you can have multiple different types of different colored clothes. They don't all wear pink trousers. They should. So I want to know, Gillian, and listen, you can get a handy Andy. You'd be like, I know you never listen to the podcast. We should listen to this episode for whatever reason. Just skip through like golf stuff. Don't worry about that. So which uniforms do you think are the sexiest, from least sexiest to most sexiest?
Okay, so what do we have? We have doctors, postman, fucking firemen, army. Who else was there?
The church, religious, whatever.
The church. Okay. Is it those 6?
That's 5. Well, yeah, it's that. Yeah. Was there another one?
Okay.
Was there another one? No. That's. We'll do those. Yeah, do them.
Okay, so it's from the least to the best.
The least to the best.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the church is at the bottom.
Okay. Fucking. There you go. You are what? Congratulations to the post service. The first time any human being in history has rated them as sexy, even remotely. Well done, post service. One on the board. One on the board for the post. Okay,
and
very
then
good.
it's the postman.
Church. Big surprise. Gasp from the audience. Postman. Okay.
Postman. And then what's left? The army, the doctors, and the
fire brigade and the police.
Fire brigade and the police. Army, doctor, fire brigade, police. Army, and then I'd say doctor.
Doctor, okay.
Army, doctor, fire. Oh yeah. So doctor. Fire brigade. Police, army.
Okay, look at this. Look at this. Now, take note, handy. Get yourself a beret, son. But don't wear it. Just wear it not like a artistic beret. You got to wear it at a jaunty.
Yeah.
Got to wear it at a jaunty angle and I don't know what it is with the army, but they've got a lot of shoulders. You got to do a lot of shoulder walking. Okay. So you church? No, not interested in priests. I think that's fair. And I would say, though, on balance, nuns are sexier than priests. Like, no, but who is really having fantasies about priests?
Yeah.
That isn't like some fucking traumatized fucking lady from the like fucking 50s. Do you know what I mean? Like there was this weird thing, and back when priests had all the power, priests and police had all the power, there was kind of a bit of thing where people thought priests were attractive because they had that power kind of thing going on.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I feel like that's a long way back the road now. There's been a lot of
I think it's a bit like,
controversy since then.
I think, yeah, anyway, yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. Carry on.
But for whatever reason, nuns, I think people still think nuns are hot. I think nuns are hot. It's like everything. It's like, to clarify, what I'm really saying is the nun uniform is hot. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
the real long one with the real long veil.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's like here.
See, this is all. It's a bit sure. Men's uniforms are all buttoned up as well. The whole point is that things buttoned up. You just want that's the whole point. The point is the uniforms are sexy if you put them on someone you want to ride. If you put them on Sister Agatha from your fucking past, probably not. Like any of the uniforms for that matter. Although in a post uniform, maybe Agatha would look all right. Anyway,
think about it.
Let me store that one away for later. But yeah, that's it. So obviously, that's the problem. It's like whatever your personal experience is with somebody in a profession is going to color it. So you got to pretend, you got to not think about your fat, ugly, fucking whatever it is, doctor from when you were a kid. You got to imagine hot doctor or
a hot doctor.
Hot nun. But I still think, so even if you had a hot nun and a hot priest, I think hot nun is a hotter outfit than hot priest, because the priest is just like, I'm wearing black and I got a white thing there. Whereas the nun, they got the hood, they got the thing, whatever the thing, they got beads and shit, you know what I mean? I definitely think, sadly for me, sorry, postmen, I'd have to put postmen last, for sure. Then next up for me from postmen, you know what? I gotta say, female police doesn't do it for me, really. Not into
really?
it. Yeah, not
See, when I think of police, I quite like the Irish police uniform, but what ruins it for me is the big fucking bomber jacket thing that they wear, which I presume is like a bulletproof thing.
They
fully there for their protection, but
you're
if they didn't have that, I'd be like,
Gillian, the new fashion consultant for the guards. Like, this is so baggy, okay? What are you even doing? I can't see your shape. I can't see. Let's get this. Can we get something slim, form-fitting? What's this? It weighs a ton. What's in this? Lead? Just like.
So I think if that bomber jackety thingy wasn't on it, police would be above the army for me.
Very good.
But it's just that one thingy. Sorry, you go. You continue.
Okay. No, that's good. I like these. I like these details. So I think I'm gonna go post and police. See, I don't know what it is. I mean, here's the thing that's messed up, though, right? I think not messed up. All of this is messed up. We are objectifying human beings, Gillian. This is disgusting. Horrible behavior.
We're just talking about the uniform because we don't, you're like, oh, but if you put it on a person you want to ride, but I don't know if you have a person in mind that you want to ride. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about the uniform. You're talking about the clothing.
Well, I know what you mean, but I mean, I don't plan just to like buy an army uniform and jack off on it. I mean, there's gotta be, you know what I mean? Like I know we're saying we're talking about a uniform, but we're also putting it's a gray area, and that's fine. That's about as good as we're gonna get. That's it. That's the best in this cancelled police. Maybe we could have a cancelled postman. That'd be fun if we've got the cancelling police to have cancelling postmen, and then they just send you little like letters that say you're cancelled. Or cancelled priests. That would actually be better because they'd be like, well, that was transphobic phrase you used. Yeah. 14 Hail Marys, and then you can come back on Twitter. They could give you cancel penance. That might be all right.
That would be good. Confession box on Twitter.
No, is there?
No, I said, could you imagine? That'd be class.
I think you just came up with an idea that's almost as good as Little Jill dolls in terms of marketing yourself. Gillian Fitzgerald's confession box. Huh? Huh? Oh my God, we could do a whole range of dolls of you in dressed up as a nun. Oh man, this is all right. Listen, we can't. I'm editing this out of the podcast. This idea is too good. Fucking blow the lid on this. Right, so post and police. So here's the thing. I actually think female guards would be a ride. I think they're probably good personality too. But there's just something about the uniform itself. I'm just not into it when it's on them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for only objectifying you, ladies. Sorry for not taking your personalities into account. So post police. Then I think I'm gonna have to do. Jesus, now this is tricky. See, I suppose I'll have to do fire because again, it's baggy. It's not on a man. I feel like you're thinking they're going to take it off and they're going to. So you know what it is? On a baggy or a big jacket on a man, you can imagine they're big underneath it. Both of those things generally being kind of a positive. Whereas even if it is a sexy lady in a fireman's jacket, like this, the bigness of the jacket doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't accentuate that. So we're going to have to go fire next. This is almost opposite to it. This is ridiculous. And then I guess I'm going to, you know what? I think I might put none at the top. I think I'm going to have to do, I think I might have to, wait, did I miss someone? No. Yeah, okay.
You've forgotten doctors and
nurse. So fire, army's next. Then I think it's then, what do nurses look like? I think it's nurse and then none, but only because I feel like sexy nurse has been very overdone, whereas I could probably do a bit more sexy nun.
Sexy nun is definitely a thing that people do at Halloween now, though. Loads of sexy nuns flying around.
Yeah, sexy nun's an easy one if you're just like, ooh, I'm controversial, but not really. You know what I mean? I'm edgy. Yeah, do a sexy nun in blackface, then we'll see if you're edgy, huh? Not putting that in. Post, police, fire. Post, police, fire, army, nurse, nun. That's what I go. And
what was mine? Post.
Yours,
church, postman.
Yours is, wait, tell me that. Church, post, doctor, fire, police, army.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're down there, opposites there. See, that's it. But I think that makes sense because you have different connotations between men and women depending on the uniform. Although I did have sex with an army officer, and I did pick her up when she was dressed in her full uniform. So there you go.
I fully thought you meant a male. How did you pick her up in her uniform? Was she at work?
No, she was in a club. She was in a club with her army buddies, dressed up in her army uniform.
Dressed up in her uniform.
I mean, sorry, dressed, I suppose, not dressed up, yeah. Sorry.
She was just wearing clothes. Dude, that's gas.
Yeah, man. Dude, and then we had the ride, and then she kicked me out. I was just like, that was great. She was like, you done? I was like, I thought maybe. She was like, it was great, man. I was like, oh shit. I guess somebody's got that army efficiency going on.
That is amazing. You're probably like walking down the street and you walk past your husband or something.
Dude, that's scary, man. Because who's
I hit my mouth with the fucking bottle.
I hate that. Did you get your lip?
I got my tooth.
Oh, ouch.
I was sore.
But you're just like, that was really sore. Let's just keep doing this generally so it can happen again. Yeah, man, that would be scary now because the wife of an army officer, I feel like, or husband, husband of an army officer is going to be scary. I feel like because they have to be scary to match the scariness of the person. Yeah, there we go. It was overseas as well, and it was in a country where it's illegal to do that. So I also broke the law. If you're in the military in that country, you're not allowed to have sex with foreigners because they're afraid you'll steal state secrets. Yeah. 007 here.
God. That is so funny.
So funny, right? Maybe that's why she kicked me out, man. Maybe that's why.
That's what I was going to say. That's why she kicked you out. Because she, like, in her sleep, she says all the state secrets.
That was it. She was mumbling.
So you couldn't sleep beside her.
That was it. Mumbling them all. Mumbling the codes to the missile launcher. 172.
Yeah.
96. You know?
Funny.
Hilarious. So that's it. So that's it. So basically, you're saying Andy's got to get himself fucking you forget get dressing up as a nun for Halloween. Andy, not well, you know, do what you want to do. But I was saying Andy's got to get himself an army uniform. Was he ever in the reserves or anything like that? You got a spare one knocking around?
Knocking around? I don't think so.
Got to get on it, Andy. Got to get on it, man.
Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir.
Left.
Lots of ways of interpreting that, huh?
I live pretty close to the army base. What are they called? It's like an army thing where they go and they do all like their training and stuff.
I guess base. Are you asking me if there's an army base around here?
No, I live near one.
Oh, very good. You know what? See, for all this uniform talk now, you're in the fucking middle of it. You got a hospital on one side full of doctors, fucking firemen. You got fucking army men. I tell you what,
the postman comes to the house every day.
Fucking yeah, man. There you go. That's all you need to do now is burn a bit of toast, and you've collected the whole set. Huh?
Collected the whole set.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. But what is it? What is it though about uniform stuff that's attractive? Like why is that more? You know, it's like if you're going to be googling up fetishes or whatever, there's going to be more of that than there is, say, like, God, I love a guy in a baggy jumper. You know what I mean? Like, it's why uniform. Not that there's something wrong with that.
I think it's I think it's what you were saying earlier. I think it's like the position of power that they have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You're going to be like, they're going to be dominant.
Yeah.
Or conversely, if they are perceived as dominant, then if you fuck the shit out of them, then you're kind of like double dominant. So it kind of works either way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
Kind of works either way. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And presumably, and maybe it's a bit taboo as well. You know what I mean? Certainly the nun one would be taboo. I don't suppose the other ones would be taboo.
Yeah, I don't think you're meant to fuck a nun, to be honest.
Go fuck a nun.
Whatever about fucking an army officer while she's just off of duty in an illegal country, I think it's worse to fuck a nun.
It's a fucking judgment coming out of you, Gillian, huh? No wonder you're cancelled. With prejudicial statements.
I'm just
like
saying,
that.
I think it's worse to fuck a nun. And it's not for you. I think for the nun, it's on the nun. You know.
Okay, what you're saying is that when you're like, it's a great phrasing. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying this is worse than that. It's just that's the thing that's inherently judging. But are you saying you're judging? Who are you judging? Or are you saying it's
the nun?
Okay.
The nun I'm judging because she has taken an oath to not fuck anyone.
She's married to God, right?
Married to God.
But didn't you know?
If you rock up to church and you're all like, "Hey, lady," and she's all like, "Get into that confession box now," that's on her. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad I put nun on top now. That's good. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. It would be more taboo if there was some rule in the army where you could only fuck the general or something like that. Yeah. God's like the general of the nuns, I guess. Is he like? But if you fucked a nun, do you think she could tell you some religious secret? It's just a wafer.
My whole life's a lie.
It's not really. The Holy Spirit spoke to me in a dream, and he told me swearing's grand. Oh no, I've given it away.
Yeah.
That'll be the big reveal. Swearing, it's fine. You get to heaven anyway. It's grand.
Yeah.
Jesus does it. It's his name, and he does it all the time. Jesus fucking Christ. Stop saying your own name, Jesus. Stop taking your own name, and then God's really mad at it. Stop taking your own name in vain. How am I supposed to make these when you're doing it?
Yeah. God.
Think, yes, for my sake, please.
Lead by example.
That's great news now about the uniforms. Good, very good. Oh, one question though. Since army is the top of your sexy uniform list, what's your preferred hat? Because there's lots of different army hats.
That's true.
You can have a flat hat.
I wouldn't.
Gaddafi kind of vibe. hard hat. You could have a fucking beret. No
Definitely
hat.
not the hard hat, anyway. I think maybe, don't they wear like a little green one at some point? Like a little.
I feel like that's the type of beret. Oh, I know. You mean like a triangle looking one?
It's like a triangle looking one. Yeah,
there's that one too, right? Shit, yeah.
That seems to be the one that they wear when they go on like flights and stuff, isn't it? I feel like that would be. I don't know.
No idea. Is that the flying? Maybe so. I have no idea.
I think it might be. Do you think
that hat is only for flights? Just like fucking Ryanair.
They have flights for different times of the day.
Different hats. No, it's for different carriers. But when they get on EasyJet, it's like blue and it's like sogabongs coming off the side of it, where you just never happen to get on an EasyJet with them. Yeah, I presume. Yeah, I don't know. I know they have different. I know different hats kind of signify different things, but also I think there's differences between different militaries. Some militaries do different types of hats too. Like, have you seen the North Korean hats? They are so big. It's gas, man. Obviously, it's in the 1950s, hats were gradually getting bigger and bigger. And then, like, when the Korean War ended, the rest of the world was like, that's about right. And then North Korea was like, lads, let's keep going. And they're like the ones with the brim, but they're massive, man. The lads look like hilarious. God love them. I mean, they'd probably kill you as soon as they look at you. I'm sure they're perfectly capable soldiers as well. But novelty hats, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, what's your preference of hat, Jill?
Yeah, I think the little green triangle-y one.
Okay.
The one. Definitely not the hard hat. Definitely not that. Anyway.
Oh, just fucking strong no to the hard hat, huh? Fair enough.
Strong no. Yeah.
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 Whereas with the fireman, you only get the helmet as an option.
Oh, that's true with the fireman. That's very true.
Police, you get the one hat too.
You get that little hat with the police. Yeah, that's nice.
I like the police hat. There's nothing wrong with the police hat.
Yeah, I like that now.
Can you imagine how gas it would be to look at somebody with if you were wearing an army uniform and a fireman's helmet? God, you'd look at state, wouldn't you? Like the mix and match doesn't work. You can't do any of these on their own is fine, but you know a nun's habit and a fucking police uniform. Nah, man, now it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Too confusing. It's like, what are you doing?
This is ketchup and ice cream. I like both of these things by themselves, but now it's ruined. It's ruined. I can't have sex with. You can't go having sex with a big bowl of ice cream and ketchup, as the old saying goes. Right, that's a good one to end on.